Hello and welcome to my goat shed life where yay today I really am in the goat shed. It's Monday and so on Saturday I got a call from the nursing home where my mom lives. She's been living there a year and some change. It was a year in February, and they said that she had been taken by ambulance to the local hospital. The town is quite small, it's kind of a little hospital. Taken to the emergency room, and her blood pressure was fluctuating, and she was having nausea and vomiting. And with the fluctuation in blood pressure and the blood pressure getting so high, they couldn't seem to get it under control, so they went ahead and sent her to the hospital. And so I called the emergency room and spoke to the emergency room nurse, who happens actually to be my neighbor. And I don't know them very well. They haven't been here very long. But anyway, so I spoke with the emergency room nurse, and he said that they were stabilizing her blood pressure and this and that and the other thing, and so I said, okay, she had just gotten there. There wasn't really much he could tell me at that time. And so about an hour and a half later, I called back. He said, I was just fixing to call you. They apparently, because of the nausea, had done a CT scan on her tummy and found that she had gallstones and kidney stones pretty severely, and of course the high blood pressure and the nausea and the vomiting, and they were sending her on to a larger hospital, their sister hospital in a larger town that's about an hour away. So anyway, but they really found the gallstones and the kidney stones quite by accident. And so yesterday on Sunday, and there was something he said to me that I found very interesting, and this is something I kind of want to talk about. He said that she was full code, and what that means is that there is no DNR in place. And a DNR is the Do Not Resuscitate order, and they talk about advanced directives, and maybe you've heard, your doctor has talked to you about advanced directives before. It's like, if I'm hooked up to all these machines, do you want us to try to hang on to you, or do you want us to pull the plug? And many times this is a decision that families have to make. And the decisions that we have to make sometimes with our old people are not easy decisions to make. I've always said they should have a class in high school that one day you may have to actually take care of an old person. Anyway, at full code, there was no do not. I said, that's correct. She's pretty spry. She's pretty healthy. Up until now, she hasn't had any major illnesses for a really long time. She does have a degree of dementia, which is probably, to somebody who's just speaking to her for the first time, they would find it to be pretty severe. There are things she remembers and then things that she doesn't. For example, I did go to see her today, and but I got ahead of myself. Yesterday on Easter Sunday, I spoke to the urologist, and she told me that there were some options with regard to treating the kidney stones, which are not bothering her. She's not having any problem with the gallstones or the kidney stones at this time. There's not any pain. There's no discomfort. The kidney stones aren't trying to get out. Apparently, they can cause some bacteria in the urine. But anyway, no, I'm not a nurse, but after having cared for somebody, an elderly person, for so long, I play one on TV. Yeah. Anyway, so I went to see her today, and there was some confusion for her. She wasn't really sure where she was. She keeps forgetting that she's actually in the hospital. She's thinking she's still in a nursing home. And and again, the doctor that I spoke with, the urologist that I spoke with yesterday, brought up the fact that she is full code. And I said, yes, she is. That if her heart were to stop, then I expect you to get those paddles out and bring her back to life. And let me explain, and this is really important, is that I am all about quality of life. I'm a quality of life person, not a quantity. 10 out of 10 of us are going to die. Nobody's getting out of this alive. I get that. And But my mom's quality of life in the past year or so, since she's been at the nursing home, has been quite good. Those people are amazing. I go to see her like once a week. Sometimes I take her out. We go to Dairy Queen. She gets a banana split. She loves that. And she gets in and out of she walks with a walker, but she gets in and out of that truck almost as good as I do. And I just don't think that I'm ready to pull the plug and put a DNR in place for her. If she were laying in a coma, or she were, never able to get out of her room or go to activities at the nursing home, of which they have some wonderful ones, it might be different. These are decisions that get put in front of us when we become adults and we get older, and these are things that we have to think about. And they don't tell us that these are things that we may have to think about one day and make those difficult decisions to treat or not to treat in certain situations. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to share some of that with you, and some of the lingo, like advanced directive, DNR, do not resuscitate, full code, which means resuscitate at all costs. There was a point in time when I actually did sign a DNR. She was very sick. She had C. diff, which is a bacterial infection that is just horrible, with horrible diarrhea, and it got to the point she almost died from it. And at that point, I had signed a DNR because the doctor said, look, if her heart were to stop, we would put her through the trauma of starting that heart back up, because that shocking cannot be comfortable. It's not. And she would still be just as sick as she is now. And at that point, I did sign that DNR. But at the point that she is right now in her life, as her advocate, as her POA, which is another piece of terminology, power of attorney. I have both medical and durable power of attorney over my mother, and I have for years. And as with both of those in place, it is my job to advocate for my mother and what I think my mother would want and what I think she would like to have done. And at this point, I really believe if someone were to say to her, or the 20-year ago self that she was, with less of the dementia or no dementia at all, if your heart stops, do you want us to start it again? I am 99.9% certain that my mother would say yes. Absolutely, I want you to start it again. Anyway, serious topic, had nothing to do with the goat shed or goat shed living. Just be aware that there may come a time when you have to look after your old person. If you find my videos interesting, entertaining, or whatever, leave me a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks.